Well, welcome everybody to another Monday night Chaos Magic here on Open Minds, Open Mic. We have a lovely cast of poets once again. I'm going to start out this evening with the one and only Richard Spisak. Richard, please bless us when you are ready.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. An honor to be here among these fine poets. I have a piece that I call Closing Diversity's Door, about one of the sad quirks of the current regime that seems to want to return to the days of segregation when it was okay to insult people and that good manners was frowned upon. Okay, here we go. Closing diversity's door. Zuck says yuck to DEI. Hey, what's to hate in the end? Isn't it all about everyone being the white man's friend? If only, to say it again, only the Lord himself's above the white man's studied, sullen, and bitter end. All those darker hue on hue, didn't they never get the news? You're excited, I know you are. We're riding, but don't kid yourself. You'll be out back pushing the car. I'm the white man. I'm in charge. Aren't you just ecstatic, enthusiastic? Watch me out there aromatically living large. Yeah, you'll attend my ship estate. You may admire me, but don't forget, you'll be down below labeled freight. But hey, you know I'm great. I really rate. We'll be stealing from your long lost state all the things that enrich us. Wait, minerals, forests, water too. We'll even need the creatures for our zoo. Oh yeah, we'll steal your labor too. We'll take it all. By the way, I'll probably need a brand new hat. I'll need a couple of mansions and a great big boat. Of course, all my loans will gather around. You'll wear them tightly wound around your throat. And all those women we cheaply do employ just to make sure they know to bow and curtsy to our boys. Sure enough, they've had their day in court, but face it now, we're all well past that last resort. Don't you really want our protection? We think so, and while we admire ourselves in each passing mirror, the gleaming, masterful reflection of such perfection, purged from our sight, obscuring thee, O thou chattel, we just enjoy the sounds of your chain when they rattle, like the bells upon our fine chocolate Swiss cattle. Go ahead, complain, we thought you might, but after all our sanctimonious talk of Christian values, you know deep down what we really believe, my friend, is that might is right. We'll take Panama and Greenland too. Maybe we'll make Canada a state now, wouldn't you? Maybe we'll invade Mexico. Yeah, we might. We'll sneak in from California and Texas on some deep dark night. No more DEI. I don't think we can. Besides, after all, any really big mistakes must be done by man. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
All right, Richard, thank you. Everybody unmute and give it up for Mr. Richard.
Very on topic, very nice.
Indeed. Well done, Rick. Always.
Well, on deck we have Mary Ann Teff, but up next, Generalissimo. We haven't seen you in a little bit.
Okay, let's see what I have. I pulled this out recently. I was looking for something to submit to something, and it was close to the poem in the roster of poems, alphabetically. So this is just an older poem, probably I wrote in the past 2 or 3 years. It's a letter I have tattooed on the underside of my skull. My dearest depression, I spent so much extra time on the first mattress I spent extra money on that a depression formed that didn't spring back, that became a shallow grave of padded memory foam over wrapped coils that became collapsed springs. I guess your presence in my life was a new definition for progressive. Luckily, I was able to replace that mattress with a Select Comfort mattress. My sleep number is 100. I prefer my mattress and pillows to be extra firm when my wherewithal is artificially lower than what you arbitrarily decide it should be. Or maybe I should hear your words and realize you are a scourge of misinformation You are Alex Jones trying to turn my life into a warped conspiracy theory that my traumas and mistakes are false flag missions, but they are not false flag missions because I own them, and yes, I have hoarded them and labeled Ziploc bags in the freezer till freezer burn surrounds each one's ability to be cryogenically revived because I can accept that you live inside me, but I don't have to let you out to play. Sincerely, the keeper of the keys to the gate of my happiness.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Do you have another one for us, General? All right. Well, on deck we have Maddie, but up next we have Miss Mary Ann Teff.
I'm going to do one more. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So
Oh,
please,
okay.
yes,
I think
Yes.
I muted myself.
at
Yes.
least one.
Hold on. I just have to pull it back up. Here we go. Survival of the thinkiest. I come from a place where selfishness is synonymous with survival. It is not uncommon for me to traverse knee-deep snow when getting out of bed on sweltering summer days, and despite that I am numb knee to ankle, the soles of my feet burn from scorching summer sand. There are people who claim to feel no pain when walking barefoot over hot coals. Welcome to the world of mind over matter, where people feel no pain, but their feet are bloodied and blistered. I come from a place where selfishness is synonymous with survival, where success cannot happen without sacrifice. I come from a place called Earth, a giant ball of dirt, stone, water, and gases littered with plants and animals. Amongst the animals is a creature called human. Unlike the rest who simply survive, humans think, humans reason, humans justify. There are over 8 billion humans scurrying about trying to find their place on this place called Earth. If one of these thinking, reasoning, justifying creatures truly found its place, it could stay put, but we all have to move to get out of bed. Thank you. Now it's Marianne's turn.
Amazing, Generalissimo. Thank you so much. Mary Ann, when you are ready, take it away.
Okay, thank you so much. Always great to see everybody and this intimate crew here tonight. Um, oh, I wrote this piece today because I was scrolling at lunchtime and I saw, I guess everybody knows quintessential poetry that Michael Anthony Ingram does. And he had an interesting post there about sound, sort of kind of beyond words and poets and artists who work with pieces of sound and things or silences. And anyway, it just got me thinking about that idea. And anyway, check out what he was posting about for National Poetry Month on quintessential poetry. And I just call this Sounds of Silence. From the moment we lift our pens, we learn to let the white space speak between the words on our pages. But when I look into your eyes, suddenly I no longer understand how to interpret the silences between what I hear you say and the words you leave unsaid. Perhaps among your rests and pauses, you have said all you intend, and the confusion is mine alone that I have not heard what I need to read your gestures and assure my heart she is at home. Thank you.
Yay.
Do you have another one, Mary Ann?
More.
Um, I do. Oh, sorry, I just lost the group there. Um, I I wrote this yesterday morning as the last of a certain chapter in my life ended. and it's called Release with Love. And if you were at Bottoms Up yesterday, you might have heard this. I think you did, John, and maybe others too. I will be fine, they say, is the most telling indicator of not fineness that we know, which is why my heart saddens when I try to imagine why you have risen by moonlight to send me those photos and that wishfully uttered phrase. She looks young, lovely, unassuming smile etched in cherry red, not at all your type, which has been more like me, from what experience has shown. Still, I've expected those images, or some just like them, through 2 seasons now. I cannot say if my heart still might tug on our barnacled anchor line, but I know it can no longer submerge under the weight of the mottled past or snag on trepidation of a chalky future. For this cerulean morning, as you taxied your remaining bags to the place you now call home, I caught a glimpse of the might have been, and my spirit floated in the warm sunrise, for it dawned on me at last that I have released you and myself with love. Thank you, everyone.
That was beautiful, Mary Ann. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
On deck, we have Park William. Put up next. Give it up for Maddie.
Howdy, y'all. I'm gonna read some poems I wrote a couple of poetry months back, so years. My dad puts 2 baby turtles in his suitcase in Costa Rica and checks his bags to ORD. Gives me 2 reptile refugees, releases them in October in the backyard in Illinois. The parent, eager to please their kid, buys a leopard gecko, puts it in a plastic house without the ceramic heat lamp, does not buy fresh crickets, does not fill the water, does not question the death when it does come, and it comes, doesn't discomfort it more than a trash bag, and doesn't even shoebox the funeral. The industry of reptile sales has a black market flavor to it. Something about the cold things that need heat to survive screams perfect point of sale, screams victim, screams expendable, exchangeable, interchangeable, screams I got pretty in any color you're looking for. Reddit user posts, should I be worried, and attaches a picture of their snake, its skin sag and slack on its spine, and says they cannot afford to learn, can't be a good owner because the pet care is difficult, and then gets angry at the parallel the commenters draw to abuse. It's one thing to step away from the exotic pet market to marketplace your pet on Facebook like a used piece of furniture. There are thousands of versions of the same creature available on the website Morph Market in any color you want. Trafficking of travelers, no name given until they get shipped out, a live guarantee or your money back. So I want to give a wholehearted apology to my pet snake. I want to say I'm sorry to her in parcel tongue, in a way she understands, that I did not know, that I believed what they said, that she was cold, a killer, a nothing that feels with its teeth, before I found her and named her Kitty, then renamed her Sugar, and named her Worth Humanity. Whatever piece of Tupperware she was born in was a far scream from hope, but she's blue without the heat lamp. She's cold, and they say reptiles have no emotion. It is easy. It is easier to buy a convenient lie than defrost and eat a freeze-dried truth. What does it say about me that I can anthropomorphize the pet and not the one I feed to her? All the ball pythons with the spider morph have neurological defects that range from wobbly head to inability to right their body up long enough to eat, to drink water, to sit still. But we like the way they look, and so they cost more than the base flavor. Create your own creature and then neglect it. I got my snake when she was a baby. Birds and snakes both experience the same crisis of the refugee, regime after regime. Average of 7 forever homes in the first 5 years of their life. It is easy to sell the dream when you have the car salesman kind of cancer face, a liar, a kind stranger at the pet store that does miracle work with his hands, feeding frozen mice to snakes skin pinned back and plucky, and says, I've got exactly what you need. Says their pet needs somewhere new to live. Can't say they're half whole. Can't say they're soft with their principles. Can't say their love is a blank stare, a price you can name and barter and bargain. And if you don't want it, Just let it out in the yard and say you gave it a fair chance. That's it. Thank you.
Amazing as always, Maddie. Do you have another one for us?
Of course. Um,
Yay.
okay, thank you. Okay. Um, okay, so this was because I put in a prompt for in AI for what autism looks like, and I also have my special interest in being an autistic person is autism for it was for a really long time, and how it's underdiagnosed, and how we basically like there's this growing concern, especially right now it's so topical because there's this growing quote unquote concern that autism rates are increasing, but that's actually crap because we didn't know what was the criteria for autism, and then like in the 60s it grew or in the 80s it grew because it became something that people, if they got a diagnosis, they could get special education for their children, so people were more willing to pursue a diagnosis. Then they found that it was actually as prevalent as women as it is in men, but women just show different symptoms, and this is the evolution of autism awareness, and how it's also mostly been studied in white boys whose parents have enough money to put their kids in studies. So the face of autism has been very often white affluent boys, when there is a huge range of people who show all these. Anyway, I love autism, I love my community. Okay. Artificial intelligence predicts autism looks like white boy. Science already has a predilection for homogeneity. Research comes from money, comes from white, comes from boy, comes from, statistically speaking, by age 18, 80% of women will remain undiagnosed. May we learn to listen to all autistic speech, nonverbal included. May the ugliness of autism moms be as blatant as pyramid schemes appear in your Facebook message requests from high school classmates. I see through the puzzle piece profile picture. You're trying to solve your child, cure them. Autism Speaks wants you to know they care, wants you to find a way, fund a way, to put your boy into a box, to fix him into a pre-existing puzzle, a piece that will fit, that must fit. May the existence of statistics such as this become as alarming and disgusting and unbelonged as our own neurodiversity. 75% of autistics have experienced depression, suicidal thoughts, and severe anxiety. Autistic people of color are more likely to be murdered by police than any other group, period. Women appear invisible in every subject of science and do not function until profitable. Eugenics is a hot button topic that you don't want to speak of unless it's a history lesson, but here, it is here. Has been here. Get your discount disabled child here on TikTok made famous and make a viral video of the way they are suffocated by the world at odds and to no end and daily, until we learn to hide it, until we learn to smother our science with suicides. And until then, we want you to know we found a more marketable word. We want you to know it's curable. Psychiatrist predicts a mix of cosmopolitan-style cocktail drugs will do just as good as a gun. May we forge a new form of medicine that does not belong in our bodies, that does not mute us out, that no pre-existing drug allergies will contraindicate. May we teach the teachers to eat their words for breakfast and then let us speak. When autism looks like only a boy struggling to speak, an avid speaker with an affinity for trains and otherwise mute or pretending to be weird, a meltdown equated to a tantrum, as if there's anything you could ever give us to make the loud quiet, to make the pain stop, to make the world itself hurt less. Poem. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That is a big topic and it needs to be discussed more.
It is a big topic. And also the thing I say about autism moms is that I think that it's very unfortunate that parents film their children going through extremely dysregulated states and then post it on the internet, because that child's going to grow up and like they did not consent to being filmed. They did not consent to like being an educational topic, and rarely are they providing education to the community. Most of the time it's the parent making a spectacle saying, look how hard my life is, when it's actually the child who's suffering more than the parent. And I think that that's unfortunate. That's become a thing that social media has allowed people to basically like get this attention in a very like Munchausen's type way of like, well, here you go, like here's your attention, but this is a child who needs help and doesn't need to be filmed. So that's what I was talking about in that. And I don't want to equate all autism moms the same, because I know there are amazing moms and parents who care for their special needs children in very compassionate and creative ways. So anyway, love you guys. That's all.
Thank you, Maddie. Up next, Mr. Martin Parker himself, Parkvillian. Please bless us when you're ready.
All right, thank you very much. Thought I'd start with a cover that was a prompt from a workshop a few weeks ago. This is called The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. And then this is the poem that came out of that, is so far called Rest. When I return from my nightly quest, I need to let my body rest and process all the dreams and scars collected out among the stars. The Alistair cluster, the Gaian reach, the planet where lies a turquoise beach. I bring back bubbles in my mind I've sifted from the strands of time, then lay them out along the shore and rest till I can soar once more. Thank you very much. And I've got a new design. I don't know how you can see this, but my latest design is my world word puffin. So I've put links in so people can check all that out. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Martin.
Thank you. That was amazing.
I've got an older one that I'm gonna read. It's titled Autumn Leaves. Sun breaks on autumn leaves, gleaming gold on paved streets, illuminating me, creating a shadow on this cold morning. All the houses look the same, brick boxes faded red with bows on the doors, waiting to be opened like presents on Christmas morning. The breeze from the passing cars brisk, forming small dust funnels that rustle along the curb corners. And no longer do I see children playing in yards. I remember like yesterday playing in the falling leaves while hot chocolate and simmering pots waited inside. The call would come soon and we would scurry in to get warm, hear sounds of holiday spirit. But that memory would not last long, for it was so many years ago. I don't really understand this world, never have. Always the odd one out who never wanted to be a part of. Still walking, basking in warmth that shines on my face. Breathing, watching people in a hurry for their routine must continue till all the boxes are checked as to not miss one thing. Mind wandering in fall sunlight on this day. The warm clothes protecting my skin from the cold energies that surround me. Resounding echoes of sound around each corner, and I am bound to no man or woman, for this is my own experience, my own journey. And soon this day will fade when the sun sets in the western sky, and darkness will come over this sky, bringing with it the stars I see at night. The moon may have a little slice in the sky, but like the sun, it is fading, and soon we'll find anew. and sleep will come to me as I find myself tiring out, closing my eyes to wake from this dream. Thank you. Well, do you guys want to do a round two? Thank you.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, Mr. Richard, do you have something else for us tonight?
I do, sir. I do. I do. I'm going to bring a very, very heavy topic. So all of you people who have vegetable phobias, you better mute your screen because this is awful. It's the brutal tale of broccoli, if you can imagine something like that. This is called Broccoli, an Ode. I love those tiny trees of old broccoli. I see old Gargantua, or possibly Paul Bunyan, so substantua, devouring a forest hand over hand, barely leaving anything but gritty sin. Broccoli in soup leaves me droop. Baked, I think, a dastardly mistake. Breaking those tiny branches into kindling makes me hungry, especially when the supply in the fridge is dwindling. And when the supply in the fridge is dwindling, I will on occasion, with a little persuasion, sprinkle some across a salad, and in that I sing praise out a major ballad. But make mine steamed, the very stuff of dreams, and add a drizzle of salty butter or a pond of cheddar's better. Just send that broccoli my way by dusty road or super highway. An ode to broccoli.
That was too scary. I think I have to go. That was too scary for me.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Do you remember when George H.W. Bush was president?
Oh yes, oh yes, yes. The
And
fool doesn't
he
like broccoli.
and then they dumped a truckload of broccoli on the grounds of the White House.
I missed that, but it sounds like those were better days, to be honest.
Indeed,
I remember
indeed.
that. One of the few things I agreed with him about.
Awesome, awesome. Generalissimo, you got something for us?
Absolutely. Hold on. It is a 10-speed tour through modern history. When Challenger exploded, excuse me, I was in a class called Psychology of Personal Growth. The teacher, a psychologist, moved chairs in a circle each week to mimic a group therapy session. I don't remember much more about the class except when I described it to my father, he called it hippy dippy. That day after class, I rode my 10-speed back to my dorm for lunch. People were spilling from the common room, which had 2 ovens, a table, and chairs that sat 6, 2 couches, and 2 armchairs, and a TV mounted high on a wall like in a hospital room. It was like a New York City subway at rush hour. Students stood shoulder to shoulder, barely room to move, all watching an image of the space shuttle morphing into 2 plumes of smoke over and over and over and over again, the same way I would watch the World Trade Center demolished by terrorists 25 years later. It wasn't so much surreal as unreal, like a bad B movie with unrealistic special effects. It was my first "Where were you?" historical moment. Where were you when FDR died, when World War II ended, when JFK was shot, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, when I returned from Psychology of Personal Growth after Challenger was no longer, everything had stopped. On 9/11, when one plane, then another, took out the Twin Towers like a well choreographed 1-2 TKO from a Rocky movie, everything closed down. Portland, Maine was a ghost town. Lower Manhattan was covered in toxic dust. just like the skies above Cape Canaveral have permanently imprinted astronaut ashes and dust into Florida firmament.
Well,
Amazing. Thank you, General Lisma. Mary Ann Teff, you have some more for us?
I do. Here are a couple of fairly recent poems. One is called Mirrors to the Wall. It is a blessed dawn to go where only I can go, for I am not obliged to be where others expect me. I turn the mirrors to the wall and let the sound of clocks await another morning. My journey takes me into silence at the deep center of the heart. It is not easy to arrive here, more difficult in these churning times as anecdotes assault my thoughts from every quarter of the universe. Sometimes I miss my stop for worry or obliviousness, and I must retrace my steps or agree with none but myself to try this route another time. I know it is the worthiest journey. I want to know who I am when no one is looking and none to tell me who they see. And another piece called Held Within. Are there words you would dare to speak if you knew they would be memorized to dispel disappointment in the time ahead? Are there stories you would dare to write if you knew they would ignite the page and burn the fingertips of those who traced them? Are there songs you would dare to sing if you knew every bird would take to the sky at the rallying sound of your tremolo? Are there hearts you would dare to break if you knew the gold that seams their shards would never cease to flow? Thank you.
well,
I love that. Thank you, Mary Ann.
Thank you, John. Always a pleasure here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always great to have you. Miss Maddie, you can get some more for us?
yeah. She speaks the truth. It is always a pleasure here. I love it. I love it here. You're a fabulous host. Thank you so much. Thank you for late night hosting us other nights when we were doing so fry practice. That's very nice of you as well. Okay, I have two. Um, First one is alternate universe in which I'm unfazed by the men who cannot love me, which is after Olivia Gatwood. Um, My English teacher tells me the secret to joy is writing until the wind hits my lungs like a sail. My hip dysplasia never gets corrected and is seen as an accent. My pain is dissected until all these disabilities become a dialect of their own that scholars study as an alternative to antidepressants. I contain the cure and I don't need to swallow 5 pills of it a day. Everyone can tell when we're happy. Everyone insists on happy. Hand holding is as satisfying as a steady paycheck, and good head becomes known as a noun instead of a verb. And violent men are replaced with food banks, and as a result, the food crisis is solved overnight. The word no is respected like an expensive parking ticket. I get fat and happy eating crayons and flaying the dead skin off my feet. Underneath the callus is a heavy-handed artist, a blind and blotted drunk painter dancing with 20/20 vision in her mind's eye. I'm capable of describing everything my dreams have been feeding me. Pleiades can't hardly wait to meet me. The tattoo on my ribs becomes a speed dial. The Seven Sisters get a better mythology than a rape origin story. Woman is more than second sex. Good head is a woman made whole with a pen in her hand, and she becomes the every leader of the League of Nations. Medusa gets her own galaxy as a form of reparations. We all forget about gravity until doomsday. Bills are paid and debt is gravitas, god awful and given to the responsibility of the men who created it. I drop my own gender at the ozone layer and do not feel the need to pick it up as defense or weapon. I lose my hair and don't worry about doorknob confessions. I am ugly and freak and nobody cares. We get the friends and the justice we deserve outside of pretty privilege. We are given family. Silence is branded. Warriors and survivors are tall and beloved and believed. Bullies go dead silent. Death is a museum we may visit anytime. I finger paint the word yes on my face until it smiles in yellow crayon flavored steam and shine until it exits the mouth in a hiss. My joy insults the nostrils. Citronella, cruelty free deterrent of players with words that don't match their actions. Every mismatched promise unmet by equivalent action is marked and made visible for people like me who don't understand the word liar. We're told the truth. We're given a chance, a menu and hungry. I strain my angel hair. I eat my favorite foods. I recognize a groomer by his teeth. Fail to gather a good police lineup because nobody looks like a bad guy anymore that isn't one. Guessing games are left for a designated weekday. Attendance is optional. Poem. Okay. Yeah, one more. There's a dead tree at the top of the road shaped like a seahorse. Two birds the color of Granny Smith are hiding cat chats in the lime tree camouflage. The crane, sweet and suited up for dessert, waits for leftovers to pop up from the ground. The horse isn't bitter for sharing or worse for the wear. I can I can I don't know, climb the day palm south of the back porch. You are alive, aren't you? Citronella smelling salts crack up like the minna birds calling its chore buds to vultures some passed on chameleon. Beatbox gibberish. I don't know how to speak linear sign language. My hands keep levitating. They, to whichever wind blows true, spout trees out my belly. My special interest is like good concentrate for lemonade, and I will never reference making a sweet drink out of anything sour. This life cement powder, no water, so why should I? Instead, I revel in the pucker, how a good long drink of it will turn any stomach. And I have loved roller coasters since the first time I shot out of one. This life has largely been a scrapyard and thirsty, looking for something to tide over the inevitable possibility that I may need insulin one day. And I don't like candy. I hate chocolate like it's a one too many time birthday cake. And I'm a big kid now. I don't want to celebrate. I want the drink that is considered an ingredient, the sour. I live in the belly of poison spitting animals. Special interest is a hiding place and a full stomach for once, unaccompanied by nausea. Backwash says the life. Drink the fuck up, says autism. Spoken word is a firmly placed seatbelt bar, and I get sick with giggle fits whenever anyone wants to ride the broke down wooden viper and call it Raging Bull. Call it the ride we drove into town for. Call it till you're home in this. Y'all make me sick, and I'm sick of it. Let's hurl and go again. Sour straws, round two for breakfast till you shake. Ain't this something special, you say? Ain't it worth every inch you had to pay just to ride? Oh.
Always incredible, Maddie. Parquillian, Mr. Martin.
All right, yeah. We got a short one here I wrote not too long ago while waiting in a bus stop. It's called Garbage Fest. I didn't make it to Garbage Fest at the church next door to the building I call home, presented by the legendary Positive Force. All the best local punk bands were there. But even now, when I walk down the block to a stop where a bus will take me cross town, the garbage cans remind me of what I missed. So the posters are half stripped away. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see if I got a short piece. I got a little one. It's funny, as my writing style starts to is kind of changing, I go back and I look at a lot of my poetry and realize I need to go back and like revise everything. I don't really like too much of what I have right now, believe it or not. But here's an old piece that I wrote. That's a very short one. It's called Alone. In the dark depths of memories, images playing in my mind, visions that build night terrors. In the matrix, the maze you will find. In the hollows, the fires are burning, leading sorrows of yesterday's wind. In those whispers, I still hear you crying from the cuts of words we said. Those cuts now leaving scars I wear like a body of arms, and the breeze of yesterday's sorrows. In the dark, forever I stand. Oh,
Hell yeah.
shorty. Well, I'm willing to keep this room open if people want to keep reading.
Yeah, sure.
I might just end the recording and make this a free for all. And if anybody else comes in,
That sounds